Ted.
It's my presence.
Ted makes everything awkward. We started. We're good.
Action.
This is I don't even know what to call it. I don't want to call it TED Talk because that's not legal because we can't.
But it's still funny.
Talks with Ted.
Talk Ted.
Talking with Ted.
No, don't talk Ted, actually. No, this is Ted Starkweather, Mayhem Independence team member that nobody knows.
Let's
go ahead and stop answer the question, why didn't Angelo compete, and who is Ted? Let's get that out of the way so everybody stops asking the questions.
Okay.
So Angelo got hurt. Well, it was like a
looming injury?
Yeah, looming injury, just kept getting worse and worse type thing. Wasn't a one incident, I don't believe.
He broke his back last year. He was in the full back brace and everything, and
it was like a stress fracture, though.
Yeah, he had a stress fracture.
Yeah, not like he broke his back. It's spinal type thing. It's
right.
spinal.
Right. Compounded over time.
And then just got worse and worse, and so he finished the Open, but the week after the Open decided it was in his best interest for his future to step down, and we were kind of left with, Ellie and Kristen both qualified as individuals. Darren was willing to allow them to go because he did not qualify as an individual or go be on the team. And so Ted Starkweather,
which is his real name, by the way.
Right.
I love it.
Ted Starkweather. Actually, it's not his real name. His real name's Edward. But
Edward. Oh, well, we get into that.
And so Edward decided to step up and fill Angelo's spot and did a very good job. And so that answers the question why Angelo wasn't on the regionals team. And now for the next 56 minutes, we'll try to figure out who the hell is Ted.
Ted, what did you finish in the Open, too?
51st in the region. Mm-hmm.
Is that improvement from last year? Same?
I think like a 15 spot improvement or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, you've always been a pretty good athlete. You've always been around Mayhem. You've started at Mayhem when?
Summer of 13.
Yeah,
Summer of 13.
You're 23?
23.
23?
23.
So you've been around for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Ted would work out with us quite frequently for the last probably at least 2 or 3 years, every once in a while, and just depending on school schedule and all that. So we knew Ted was fit. We didn't know how well he competed, and that was the kind of the looming question when we got to regionals, but he did a really good job. No problems at all. Stepped up and did a great job like he'd been there before.
What was your sports background before you came to Mayhem?
Well, I did karate, like taekwondo, when I was like 5 to 8.
Karate.
So we're going all the way back. Let's do it. Sports background. Let's do it all the way back.
Yeah, and then soccer like a little bit before even that, but I mean, I don't remember much of it. I played when I was like 4 or whatever, and then 9 to 14, I was a gymnast.
Have you been thinking about this, by the way? This seems pretty organized.
He's been ready to do this.
Okay.
He's got it written down, I'm sure, because the other day he was like, so are we going to do a podcast about me soon?
Oh, right.
Yeah, so he's ready. He's been ready. Go ahead.
I've just on the post, like a lot of comments, people were like, the hashtag that you put, who the hell is Ted? And they were wanting me to be on the podcast and stuff. So I was just curious when I was going to be on. So.
9 to 14 was gymnastics.
Right. And then
I can't sit through this. I'm not waiting for you to go all the way back to 9 to 14.
Let's hear it. This is Ted's episode. Let's let him go.
5 years as a gymnast, that's a long time. What's the hardest gymnastics move you can do?
I was doing double backs off the high bar, and I was learning.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Coach was trying to get me to learn Takachivs off the high bar, which is like you release right here, you over the bar, then you catch. And stuff.
So could you do a giant around the bar?
Oh, yeah.
If we needed you to?
Still.
So if that comes up at the games, Ted's going to be the only one doing giants around the bar.
I haven't done it in
Yeah, Dave programmed
but
that.
But you could in the games if we needed you to.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done that in 9 years. I'm sure I could get back to it and stuff, but.
I think it's a big swing around the bar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's when your whole body goes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you ever
so
tried
at
that?
14 years old, gymnastics.
And then football throughout high school and stuff. So
We were a
14 to
cheerleader
17.
too?
Do you like long walks on the beach?
I love them. Love them. And stuff, but.
Yes, you were a cheerleader at Tennessee Tech.
I was a cheerleader at Tech for about 6 months. And,
so he could do giants around bars and throw us through the air if we needed him to.
Yeah, there you go.
I could try and get you to hands. If you need to.
Could you catch them?
I think I could.
I want to see you get Ellie to hands.
Yeah.
As long as y'all spot.
Nope. No spot.
No, I'm a little on the heavier side for a female. Come on, Ted.
No
one needs to die today.
Let's move this outside.
Let's go.
All right.
Are you kidding?
We got
me?
iPhones.
For real?
Here we go.
All right.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
It's like,
Maybe
I'm
another
gonna
time.
die today. Hey, if you have confidence, I'll try it.
I'm confident.
So you're still a student at Tech, right?
Yes,
Or
sir.
you're close to being done, though.
I will be done in the fall of this upcoming semester.
Wow.
What are you studying?
Yeah, okay.
So I study interdisciplinary studies is my major. It's basically a create your own major, and
Oh, that's cool.
I'm double majoring in exercise science and business. And I'd like to be a personal trainer eventually, and I think I'd like to be a coach at Mayhem
Oh, cool.
after I graduate and stuff.
Hint, hint. Rich.
I don't know. Who's talking right now? I was out, spaced out.
I mean, I didn't know you could like make your own major. I wish I had that.
I'm pretty sure you did that.
No, I didn't. I didn't do
You
that.
did whatever you wanted to
I
do.
was busy
in
running.
Switzerland,
In Switzerland, the Swiss Alps.
right?
I learned a lot of things in the Swiss Alps.
I don't want to know what you learned in the Swiss Alps.
I learned about transnational security. Thank you.
And yodeling.
And yodeling, which you crushed my dreams.
Absolutely not. We're not
Are you
yodeling.
sure? I can.
No.
It has to do with. I almost
Nah,
said
man.
Snoop
No,
Dogg.
this
Nah,
is-
dude.
It has to do with Scooby Doo. That's how you learn.
What?
No, we're not yodeling.
No.
I was right in the door.
No.
Sorry. Anyway,
That's the last thing I want Ted to do is yodel.
I don't want to yodel.
I already have to father him to make sure he doesn't do stupid things anyway. So
hey, you made him lift heavy
Making
weight
sure I
today,
don't
though,
run
right?
off.
we did
making
make
sure
him lift
I-
heavyweight today.
That was
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
So, what was it like growing up in a Starkweather house?
It was great. I mean, I got two awesome parents, blessed to have them. My dad really got me into CrossFit when I was
George did
George?
CrossFit long before Ted.
How did he get you
Really?
into it? Let's hear
So
this.
when I was 15, during the off season of football, Dad brought me to the old Tennessee Tech gym. It was
Oh,
like
wow.
in the
Yeah,
stadium.
CrossFit Cookeville.
Yeah, and Chip was actually my first ever coach, Chip Pugh, and my dad got me into it, and he said, I think this would be really good for you during the off season, and slowly I saw like it works. I mean, I remember my first workout, it was 12 minutes of 4 minutes Tabata air squat, 4 minutes Tabata burpee, 4 minutes Tabata air squat, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack, and I was like, this is legit. So
Yeah.
then I took a little break from CrossFit and then came back during the summer of 13. That's when I started taking it more serious and stuff, and really kind of found a love for it eventually
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Does your dad still CrossFit?
he doesn't. No,
Was
his
it- oh, quick.
shoulders bother him and stuff. So he decided that he didn't want to do it anymore. But he still works out a
Yeah.
lot. So
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
yeah.
So, sorry, what was it like growing up in your house?
Oh, like I said, I had two awesome parents. I had two way older brothers. They were gone really before I started, or before I grew up. They were gone and out of the house and stuff. But I'm still super close to my brothers. They're some of my best friends. The whole regionals, they were supporting me and wanting me to do well and stuff. But yeah, we still keep in touch to this day. But
Are they athletic too?
yeah, so Kent was all-state in soccer 2 years, and
wow.
then Austin, I believe he was all-district, like all 4 of his years of high school soccer, and did tennis, ran track, and my two brothers are they were very athletic.
Do
and
they
stuff.
still work
And
out a lot?
Austin actually joined a box
Oh,
about almost a year ago
that's
up in
cool.
DC, and he's actually moving down to Nashville in the next couple weeks. So I'm super pumped about that.
Oh,
And
cool.
it'd be nice to have a brother really close. And Kent and Jen's my sister-in-law, and Kent's my brother. They were in Nashville for a little bit, and they moved to Memphis, so they a little far away, but still keep in touch with them and
Yeah.
stuff. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Did your brothers beat you up a lot growing up?
Oh, they beat the crap out of me. I remember Austin holding my arms down and Kent punching my legs.
That's
Good
what
for
it's
you,
supposed
Ted.
to be.
You need that.
Yeah, I needed that big time.
You still need that.
I think
Yeah.
you needed more of it.
Yeah. I agree.
Now you just let the guys on
We
the
can
team.
we can make that happen.
Make that happen. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, what's the biggest lesson you learned from your parents?
Hard work pays off. And that
Wait a
just
minute.
not-
No.
Oh, I didn't mean to. It's not the
We're
HWPO.
not, we're not pubbing Fraser on this.
I didn't
Oh,
mean
is
to
that
do
one of
that.
his lines?
Hashtag hard work pays off.
I didn't mean to do that.
Which is actually from somebody else, but still, that's his thing. No,
Well, that's
give us a
not
new
new.
give us a new one.
On the real though, just never give up.
Yeah.
Never give up.
You
and
could even just say hard work,
hard work.
hardworking parents, whatever. But don't say hard work pays off.
Okay.
Jeez.
just never give up, and if you have a dream, go for it.
Yeah.
And
So one day, let's get into this hard work pays off stuff.
Okay.
I live down the street from Ted's parents,
I know where you're going with this.
and it's like 7:30 in the morning, and I'm driving past their house, and Ted's mowing the front yard. And he's made about 3 laps across this massive front yard. They live in a really big, fancy southern home. And the grass is thick. I mean, it's like,
Why did it get that thick, Ted?
8 inches deep, I don't know. And Ted's got 2 or 3 passes done. And it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm gone all day.
3 passes
All
still.
day. I come back that afternoon, and Ted is coming back the other direction, like on his 4th pass. And it was just, I'm like, what? Wait a second, what happened? Like, I'm gone 8 hours, and I come back, and it looks like he's still mowing.
Is this before you knew Ted or after?
This is, I knew who Ted was. He was
Okay.
at the gym.
Now it makes a little bit more sense, though, right?
It does.
Okay.
So, hard work pays
What
off.
happened
What happened in those 8 hours, Ted?
If I were to guess, I mean, this could have been like 2 or 3 years ago.
When
Yeah,
was it?
It was 2 or 3 years ago.
I might have had to run to Tractor Supply and get a new filter or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
The question is, did you get the grass mowed?
I'm sure eventually I did.
Okay.
It's not like me to just quit on a job or whatever.
No,
but
you will not quit. That's the good thing about Ted.
Yeah, this is true.
You tell Ted whatever he's got to do, and he'll do it. The thing is, he's not going to do extra, or he might disappear after as soon as it happens.
So focus.
So focus.
Little
focus.
self-awareness, little focus.
It's got
Those
the
are
hard
things
work
that
part,
we're-
but the hard work and focus part, and yeah, attention to detail at times.
Oh, I struggle with that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Been
You're
working
young.
on it.
He's
It's
young.
it
He's
is
young.
part of being 22
That's
or
a good
23,
Wisdom.
whatever it is.
Wisdom.
23.
Yeah.
Did you have a lot of chores growing up?
Oh yeah, cut the grass, obviously.
Always.
Because it took him 12 hours to do. He only had one
Because it
chore.
took me all dang day, but
You have nothing to do today. You're gonna mow
Yeah.
the grass.
yeah, making sure the basement was clean, making sure my room was clean, just chores that every parent gives kids and stuff, and
So
making
no
sure the
real
plants were
chore?
watering and,
Oh, okay.
or were watered and
Dishes,
oh yeah,
laundry,
mm-hmm.
your own.
Yep, my own. Yeah, I don't know if I ever did parents' laundry. They never asked me to. I probably should have anyway.
Well, you
though.
don't
I
live at
didn't
home
actually-
anymore. You got your own place now. You're like
Yeah,
out of
with
the
no
house.
electricity.
No electricity? What happened?
Ted?
Oh
Ted?
gosh.
Are you serious?
Ted?
I paid the utilities. Rent.
Obviously, you did not, buddy.
Something
wrong.
would have happened. I texted my roommate Keith, and he's in Disney World.
Have you
and
called about your electricity?
Not yet, but
It's
Keith and I were
still
going to work
off?
on it. Well, when I got home, I texted Keith. And he said it should be back on today. So,
What's up with the food in the fridge?
oh, I threw it away.
Oh.
It was all destroyed.
You've been living on the...
He said he came home last
Advocare.
night and there was no. You came home from regionals, right?
Florida.
Or no, from Florida. When we
Florida.
went to Florida, he came home from Florida.
It's been out for that long?
Yeah. There was a lot of trifecta that was ruined.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You hear that, Trifecta?
Wow.
The
Ted's
apartment smelled
wasting
really
food.
bad.
Wow.
Have you been having like candlelight dinners at night or what?
Crashed at his friend's house.
Yeah. Luckily, my friend
Gotcha.
Austin, I can't sleep in a hot apartment,
Oh, it's
and
so
Austin
hot.
and
I
I are
was
super
gonna ask.
close.
How do you sleep when it's that hot?
You don't. But the fact is that he didn't have electricity.
So, do you know what the problem is?
Yeah. I need to get the power back on.
Oh, you get the power back
But
on.
what was
Okay.
it? What was the problem? Did he not pay?
I don't know. I still don't.
That part we haven't got. Or maybe you just don't want to put it out there.
You didn't call?
I promise I don't know.
and
Like,
you didn't call? Is it City of Cookeville or is it Upper Cumberland Electric?
I think it's City of Cookeville.
Where do you live, Ted?
Cherokee.
No,
Yeah.
don't tell me the address. What part of town do you live in?
Stephen Street.
Okay. Then you're in the Cookeville city limits.
Yes.
Then it's Cookeville Electric.
You can just drive over to that office and ask.
Or call. There's a number.
Yeah, you can probably call.
Yeah.
Or email.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call or go over there would probably be the quickest.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. Just stay at your friend's house.
I mean,
Cheaper.
Yeah.
I still pay for my rent though, so
Yeah, but
it's not like I'm
paying
just
for
mooching on my
electricity.
friend. Yeah.
Jeez, oh, Pete.
It's fun having him around. It's fun having you around.
Yeah.
Been having a blast. We had a great time on vacation.
Yeah? How did
That
that
was
go?
a blast.
Oh,
Oh, man.
hold on. I'll tell you how that went. The one night we're eating at Ellie's parents' house, and her dad's cooking, and we're kind of all helping prepare things, and Lakeland wants to go down to the beach. Who's the only person that's not really doing anything because hard work pays off is Ted. And so Lakeland wants to go to the beach, so we're like, Lakeland, or Ted, I was not present for this, but Hillary was like, Ted, will you take Lakeland to the beach? So I walk out, and I'm like, where's Lakeland? Where's Ted? And they're like, oh, Ted took Lakeland to the beach. I was like, what? Why? And like, you can't see the beach from their house. Their house is on the beach, but it's set back a little bit, like the dunes and all that
Right,
stuff.
Right.
And so dinner's ready, so I was like, all right, I'm going to go get Lakeland and Ted. So I top this hill, and all I see is Lakeland's head. And I'm like, Ted, time for dinner. And I see Lakeland look over, scurry out of this hole, wipe herself
Yeah.
off, and I was like,
I like pulled her out of the hole.
he
Just sand
buried
just,
her in full clothes.
sand just
Not
dripping
in a
from her.
bathing suit, not at the beach. We're at dinner. He buried my child. So I walk back up to the house. I'm like, guys, what's the second worst thing Ted could have allowed Lakeland to do? The first would obviously be jump in the ocean.
Right.
Fully clothed.
Right.
What's the second?
Yeah.
Ellie
Barry.
goes, he buried her, didn't he? I was like,
you just
sure
know,
enough.
you know? You're
Well-
gonna be staying there forever.
Lakeland wanted to go to the beach, and
You wanted to. He said, "Well, I was digging a hole,
Yeah.
and Lakeland wanted to jump in it." I was like,
Obviously.
"Of course she did. She's 4,
Right.
when I was 4, I loved being buried.
in full clothes."
I didn't care.
You didn't
Yeah,
care. Your
obviously.
parents probably
I mean, the
cared.
question
Obviously.
is, did
Probably
Lakeland
did.
have fun?
Oh yeah, of course
Yeah,
she did.
so- She had a
Lakeland has
blast.
fun no matter what.
We were looking for
Mission
seashells, and I was like,
accomplished.
Lakeland, you want to dig a hole? And she goes, and so we were just digging up a
that's
hole,
about right.
and she just jumps
Sure
in the
enough.
hole. I was like, you want me to bury you? And she was like, yeah. And so I just put the sand on her. She loved it.
Part of that's your fault though, because that's your kid.
Hillary released him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not there when Hillary said, "Ted, take Lakeland to the beach."
Yeah, but the whole being buried in a hole thing, you're good with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
However, at dinner,
Hillary's probably not good with
yeah,
that.
she was fine with it actually.
Probably.
But I was
Yeah,
just like,
beach.
Ted,
That was funny.
Probably she had
it's
a
just like a
bath
common
earlier,
sense
and-
moment, you
Yeah,
know, like
for sure.
didn't hurt anybody. It's fine. I'm not mad whatsoever, but it's just kind of like, you serious, Clark?
Oh,
Oh, that's
It's a
awesome.
22-year-old dude thing,
Yeah, I guess. Dude that doesn't have kids.
right?
It was fun. Though,
Another good
nonetheless.
That's a great
Ted
story.
kid story.
Yeah.
What was it? It was a couple weeks ago. He first started kind of hanging out with us. We ran to run some errands, and Lakeland was with us. She hadn't had a nap. It's nap time. We're in the truck. Ellie runs
Oh,
in
I'm
to
so
get some
embarrassed by the story.
ink for the printer.
Yeah.
And so Lakeland, she's melting down. She's like had
She's
enough.
tired.
And she just
Yep.
keeps saying, "Dad, I want a blanket." I didn't have a blanket. I had like a sweatshirt that she could cover her legs, but she had to have a blanket. You know, kids get. "Dad, I want a blanket. Dad, I want a blanket. Dad, I want a blanket." And she just like it is kind of like
50
crying,
times.
but like
Right.
she just keeps saying it. It's almost just the same tone, same like space between,
Yeah.
like everything.
On repeat.
And
Like a broken record, you
I
know?
look over and Ted is in the front seat, curled up, with his finger in his ear, like blocking out Lakeland's nonsense. And I look over like, "Ted, what are you doing?" He goes, my ear hurts."
I think I had my ear was like itchy or something. I
Yeah, it's
forgot
like my ears
headphones.
itchy. I was like, "No, dude, you're like, you better get used to that." I said. I was just like, you're gonna have to work on your mental toughness there, because
Yeah.
regionals comes around, it's gonna be a little louder than that, a little bit more annoying.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of regionals, Ted, you know, you came through and you did awesome at regionals. And, of course, we're all wondering what was going through your head. So,
Nothing was going through his
Yeah.
head.
So,
Which is good.
Just static.
Fully present, doing work.
Just kidding. Ted.
I wish I could say that's what I was thinking. I was
Ted
nervous.
didn't sleep the third night.
Yeah.
Or second, whatever night. Ted
that's
just.
a good story,
Yeah, I mean,
too.
Hewitt was looking over every time, and I just was just eyes on this. What'd you say?
Are you awake too?
Eyes just at the ceiling, gripping my sheets, just a nervous wreck because I was like, I don't want to blow this. I was so nervous. I knew we were capable. I just didn't want to screw up. That was the
So,
big
do you
thing.
think anything when you're on a start mat? Does you repeat anything? Like, what? Does anything go through your head, or you just go out there and
It's
do work?
only the 30 minutes before the event that, I feel like I'm about to puke. I'm about like, it's
The
like when
color
I'm
leaves
warming
your
up,
face.
It's
and,
common.
and I asked Rich, I was like, man, I hate this feeling. Does it ever get easier? And you were like, nope, it doesn't. And I was like, but I think it helps my performance because I heard like when I played football, a coach told me a nervous competitor is a ready competitor, but like a scared competitor, like that's different and stuff. So, and then I just that always kind of stuck with me. A
Yeah.
nervous competitor is a ready competitor. And I was nervous, but once it was 3, 2, 1, go, and we heard the beep, I was ready. Like it's game time. It's in the zone. It was like, before a football game when I had the jitters, like after the first hit, I was good.
Yeah.
So kind of brought me back to that a little bit. And after the first event, it got a lot easier after that. Like once I did the first set of overhead squats, I'm like, okay, like we're here. Like I'm present in the moment. Like let's tackle this thing.
What was your favorite event and least favorite event?
Oh boy.
I think I know your least
When you
favorite,
got, we'll get to that in a second. When you got that handstand walk, that might have been my favorite
Aw,
part of the
thanks,
entire
Dad.
regional. The worm thruster event, we did way better than we did in practice. And when we crossed the finish line and the crowd was just roaring, I mean, it was loud in there. I mean, that atmosphere was electric. It was
Yeah.
it was so cool. when we crossed the finish line, and it was a battle between 417 and us the whole time. It was a race between us, like at the very end, and we just barely got them at the end. We crossed the finish line, and we were just super stoked and stuff. And that was probably another one of my favorite moments. Least favorite moment was the deadlift assault bike one by far. That one hurt so bad. We had done that one 3 times before regionals, and every time it just floored me every time. My butt and my hamstrings just the lactic acid build up every time. I was like, surely after the first one it'll get easier. The one at regionals actually hurt the worst for some reason. It was awful.
So it's kind of like you said, the bike was like a little bit slower.
The bike was it was a little slower or something.
You think so?
Yeah, I couldn't get the watts to what I had in practice. I don't know if they were newer bikes, so they just need to be broke in a little bit. I mean, it was definitely harder.
Yeah. Looking back, I saw teams like their female would push the bar forward while the guy was already back biking, and I was like, going back, I wish we had done that.
Yeah, I thought you had to stay.
I thought so too.
You
we
had to
just
stay
all
with the
assumed that,
person to release, but you didn't. Turns out. So.
Because
it worked out.
It pays to not be an idiot, I guess, and listen in athlete briefs. But
that was the most painful one for me, though, by far and stuff. And the worm lunge at the end, I wish
you dropped it, Ted.
I know. Gosh.
You blew it.
I blew it.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You did not blow it.
Yeah, you did.
You did great.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
just messing with you.
Awesome.
Yeah. I appreciate it, guys.
So what else are you passionate about aside from CrossFit? Or is that it right
obviously,
now?
not obviously. I'm very involved in my church, College Side Church of Christ. I've been a part of that ministry for about 5 years now. The UCSC, University Christian Student Center. That's the college group that I've been a part of for the last 5.5 years. Jake Lockhart got me into plugged in.
With a T.
Yeah, Lockhart with a T. Got me plugged in to UCSC and really got me plugged into Mayhem and stuff. And I really owe him a lot of credit for just being there for me and really getting me into CrossFit. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for Jake. So I give him a lot of credit and stuff.
Jake's a good dude.
Good dude,
He's
Jake.
awesome.
Yeah, awesome guy.
So what is strength to you?
Strength?
Oh, we're going deep here.
Just
wow,
this
here
is
we
a
go.
deep one, and then we're gonna get
Boy,
fun.
I've never really thought about it.
If you don't have an answer, that's fine.
There's Skipper barking.
Strength to me is just never giving up, knowing that, tough times are going to happen. And, I mean, there are times where I'm going to miss a snatch that I'm like, I haven't missed that weight in, 2 years. Like, what's going on? But I know that if I just keep grinding and pushing through it, it's gonna be okay and stuff. And luckily I'm on a team and that, I mean, y'all pick me up when I'm down, and y'all have just been an awesome team and just been blessed to have you guys. But I think strength is really, I really haven't thought about that.
That was great.
Is that the
perfect.
answer?
That was a good answer.
Hell, you gotta
Okay,
warn
we'll just
him
keep it
about
at
these
that.
things.
No, I like
was deep.
doing the whole blindsided. But now we'll do some fun questions.
Well, I want to know that there were some apparel issues at regionals. I want to know about that.
Where Ted wore red when
He was
everybody else
in
wore
red
black.
shorts. And
He wanted to be an individual.
wanted to be an individual, and he was in ratty old shoes. What's the deal with that?
Oh, you should
radio
explain your
shoes.
lawn
So,
shoes,
the
Ted.
deal
Everyone
with
was
the
freaking out about
fours
your lawn shoes.
is I have struggled with rope climbs for a while, and the fours are the only shoes that I feel like I can really latch onto the rope with. And so at regionals, I knew that.
Hey, Ted, I got a bunch of fours in the house. If I'd have known you were going to wear those fours,
the ones that you mowed the grass
I was gonna say
the ones that you went through a swamp, set on fire, and then put back on your
They've been through
feet.
heck and back.
Yeah, maybe
Was
someone
it
should explain
Sesame
what
Street
they
were
look
the
like.
shoes that talked?
Yeah.
That's what Ted's shoes looked like.
They're pretty
It was
bad.
embarrassing. It was the white fours, but they looked like military
They were like gray.
green because they're fried.
That's what I wanted to hear about. And then how did you get into red shorts? That was the other piece.
Don't even say that you didn't know what we were doing. Me, Ted, Darren, and Hewitt all stayed in the same room. We're all talking. Hey, let's wear black shorts tomorrow. We're all black instead of wearing the red. We were
Right.
going to wear the red, but we were like, let's do all black.
Right.
Everybody's like, well, I only have these pair of black shorts. I only have these pair of black shorts. I only have this. That's fine. Let's just all wear black. Ted goes, I think I'm going to wear red. And so I was like, whatever. At the time, I was like, it doesn't matter. Well, then there was a picture taken. They're like, why is Ted the only one that has red shorts? He's like, well, they didn't tell me. No, don't even say that, because it was said multiple times. He even said, yeah, I think I'm going to wear red.
Interesting. Let me ask you, as somewhat of an expert at CrossFit,
Maybe.
Slightly.
yeah, maybe. Is there a shoe, one particular shoe that you absolutely have to have on to climb ropes? Or can you climb ropes maybe in any kind of a shoe?
There are shoes that are worse at climbing ropes.
Okay.
But I would say any of the nanos that have been built past the 3 are good for climbing ropes and hold up climbing ropes.
So
anything above the 3, meaning the 8s that he was given,
okay, the 8s, right?
that he had ample time to practice in and try out,
Right.
that are relatively close to the same bottom,
Right.
or last, if you will, in
Right.
shoe terms for you shoe geeks tell short.
Right.
You can climb with the 8. Had you have practiced with it, or had somebody practiced with
Right.
it and tried it and
Right.
gotten used to it.
I'm just wanting to roast it a
Just-
little bit
yeah,
here.
I just
That's
like
okay.
I
I deserve it.
I've never felt that one's substantially more thick, like slippery than another. A running
I
shoe.
do really like the 4s.
Mhm.
They are a good shoe.
Okay.
They're probably one of any of the even number shoes I really liked.
Okay.
Yeah, all the even number shoes I've liked a lot, and I like the 1s a lot too. The
So
4,
what I wanted to establish was, okay, so maybe there is a shoe that's a little bit better, but you've got to be able to overcome and adapt.
and you had ample time
Right.
to overcome and adapt and practice.
Maybe get a
with
new pair of shoes that matches everybody else and work on those.
attention to detail. Is that where you're going?
Yeah, attention to detail.
Yeah.
But that's
Ted.
that's part about being young.
Have you ever climbed a rope in a running shoe and you came down and there was a hole this big in it?
Oh yeah,
And you're
when
like,
I first
oh, my
when I
shoe!
first did CrossFit, I used Nike Frees, and they were just
And just
destroyed.
gone.
I've got a story
You
about
go down
that.
a rope one time and it's like, oh, no sole left.
So when I was cheering, we were
Nope,
given.
okay, that's it. No, that's it. I'm just kidding.
Okay. When I was cheering, we were given these Nike shoes, and I rope climbed with those, and there was like a big old like hole of where the sole was. I was like, oh my gosh, my coach is gonna kill me. Luckily, she never found out, but she would have.
It does. It ruins them. Like, there's nothing
Oh yeah.
left.
I mean, these shoes, they were made for rope. They're just very tough, and
They are.
they can withstand rope climbs and stuff.
Oh, the 8s? You mean those can withstand rope climbing? They're good for rope climbing?
So can the
I'll be
4s.
darned. We got there.
Yeah.
All right, so no more old shoes.
Okay.
Is that the deal?
No
Or I
more
don't know.
old. You can wear the
4s.
previous models, but make sure they're at least
But at the
not
games, you
trash.
have to
Not
wear
the
whatever they
lawnmower
give
At the
you.
shoes.
games, you're gonna have
This
to
year
wear
they
8s
said-
anyway, so
Yeah.
That's true.
you better get used to them.
I think
there,
that was
buddy.
probably my favorite part of the weekend, though.
Was
Seeing
just
the shoes?
You know what? The truth of the matter is,
Skipper, what are you doing?
watching Independence was so much fun, and I know I'm giving you a hard time, but I had so much fun because I kind of know your journey and your story, and I know how hard you worked, and I really thought that it was awesome that you had this opportunity to prove yourself and jump in there and support the team and get after it, and it was a ton of fun to watch you, and we were so super proud of you, obviously, in the end.
Oh.
You done good, Ted.
Yeah.
Great job,
No, I
Ted.
mean, I'm just blessed, for the opportunity. I really am. I mean, when Rich invited me to the barn to do a partner workout and stuff, I didn't really know if I was going to
Tell us
compete.
that story. Tell us how the original, you started working out with us, and when did you know or not know that you were going to, tell us about your
Yeah.
first.
I want to hear what you say because I know exactly when I ask you, so I want
Okay.
to see if you actually remember that.
Well, I mean, I, like Rich said earlier, I've worked out with you guys for 2-3 years, and then I think it was pretty soon after the Open, I was at the gym, and Rich came over to me and was like, "Hey, Ted, come do this partner workout with Darren," and we did hang cleans and handstand walk and stuff, and it was I didn't know at the time, I thought. Angelo was still on the team, and I was just subbing in for Angelo. That's honestly
We
what I
lied
thought.
to him at first. We were like, "Hey, Ted,"
Right.
because we had to make sure he was going to fit
Yep.
team dynamic and all that. So we said, "Hey, Ted, Angelo's traveling, or I think we said he's a little injured and he can't work out, so we want to have you do some stuff with Darren just to fill in."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was just a sub at this point, and then
Or kind of.
and then Rich said, "Hey, we're going to the barn in about an hour. Once you come to the barn and stuff," and did a bunch of more stuff, and it kind of hit me I don't know if they just want me on the team next year or if they want me. They're just prepping me for the future, basically. And then basically I just worked out with these guys for 3 weeks just at the barn. Didn't really come to Mayhem any. And then one day Rich kind of pulled me aside and was like, "So here's the deal. There's a very minimal chance that Angela's going to compete, and Darren's like a little hurt right now. He should be fine by regionals, but would you want to be on the team? And I knew that this was my opportunity to, and I knew I was like, absolutely. Like, I would love to compete at regionals and maybe even get a spot at the games in the future. We'll see. But
That's accurate.
Does that match your sequence?
Yep.
about 70%.
We even had a conversation prior to this. You and I
Yeah,
did in
it's
the gym
crazy.
one day. Matter of fact, it was the same day you guys were meeting about what you wanted to do, and we just happened to sit down on a bench together, and just were talking about life and staying focused and moving forward and when things pay off, and
Right.
hard work pays off. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But we were having that kind of a conversation.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
So, like 5 minutes prior to, hey, come do this workout with Darren.
It literally happened in that
Oh,
order,
nice.
which was really cool. And his attitude and his mindset was right. I mean,
Yeah.
he had it right, and he was doing the things that he needed to do to take care of himself and not worry about the bigger picture.
Heard you were a little frustrated that you weren't considered for the team, actually.
If we're being honest, yeah, a little bit. I just,
Well, you did good in the Open.
He did
Yeah.
good in the
His-
Open. He beat
his-
Angelo in a couple workouts. He beat Darren on
That's a
several
legitimate
workouts.
question. Most people at most
Look-
gyms look at that, but I mean, we're in a unique situation where we all do it based on experience and time together and things like that. So, in most places, that's how
Did you
most people do it.
understand?
I have
Really?
to-
Did you
I
really understand why you weren't on the team at first? Let's see.
I would say in defense for sure, because I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Whatever
Because
he's
that's
accountable
like-
for, I
for
wanted to
sure.
be
Yeah,
accountable
yeah,
for.
heck yeah.
But the conversation he had with me was he was genuinely asking.
Yeah.
Please,
How does it work?
please help
Yeah.
me understand the
Right.
scope of everything. Here's what I've
Basically,
done in the Open.
Angelo had competed,
And that's what we
had been
talked.
to the games and had
Experience.
done that. The
Yeah.
experience was there. That was it. I mean, the Open, yes, matters, but I mean, did we do any workouts that were anything like the Open workouts at regionals?
not really.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing that's specific to you and your experience and what CrossFit, how it challenges you, is this idea of being in control of your emotions and being able to be super present.
Yeah.
And having that kind of experience and being focused.
Yeah,
and
because
self-awareness.
all
and a
we'd
lot of
ever
those-
seen of you competing before was falling down in the middle of workouts and being really dramatic. So we were kind of like, I
Yeah.
don't know how this is going to work.
Yeah.
But you really reined it in, and you've
Yeah.
done really well since then. But
Honestly, like the last year, or really the last 8 months, I've really focused on like, don't like draw attention to yourself. Like really just stay focused. Like don't just do work. And
Yeah.
if you get frustrated, don't act all pissed, because no one wants to hear that. Like no one
Right.
wants to see someone get. I mean, the gym is where you let you have fun. I mean, that's a place to like relieve stress. It's not supposed to like bring you more stress and stuff. So that's what I've really had to like focus on, was kind of like my anger a little bit. Just don't get so angry. Like just take it as a blessing that like you're even in here right now, like in the best, one of the best gyms in the world.
the best? Don't say
Sorry,
you corrected
the best gym,
yourself.
excuse me.
The best, one of the best. No,
The best.
just
And
kidding.
stuff. But that's one thing I really had to work on though, was just keeping my emotions under control. Because I mean, I feel like I'm a very emotional person. And Jimmy and I had a conversation about live your life with emotion. Don't let emotions like control your
Yeah,
life.
live with emotion, not because of emotion.
Not because of emotion. That's right.
Yeah.
And that really just kind of stuck with me. And then after that, I mean, I ended up doing the best I did in the Open, and I started having more fun with it and not worried so much about. And a big thing was like I constantly compare myself with people, and like I've really had to like work on that, because I mean, that's just asking for trouble when you do that. It really is.
A lot of that stuff is just being young, right?
Yeah.
And this realization, and we've talked a lot about, look, the motivation for him and for her and the other athletes is not emotion.
Yeah.
It's who they are and what they believe in. And you have that same set of core values, but kind of switching your source of inspiration or the fuel in your life from emotion to values, to who we are and what we believe, as opposed to how we feel today.
Yeah.
And I think when you were younger, you were coming in the gym and you're working at a big snatch or something like that, and it's really how you feel, and you let some of that stuff leak out, and now you're really having the opportunity to shape that, mold it,
Yeah.
refine who you are, grow up a little bit, and it's paying off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to be able to realize, man, potential. Here's,
Yeah.
geez, what could he be?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, look how well things went.
Well, that's interesting too, though, if you think about like, and I'm interested to hear you guys, your perspective on this is, I mean, when I was young and younger, doing CrossFit, I was.
Yeah, because you're not young.
Shut up.
When you were young.
I mean, don't shut up.
38's
Hush.
old, man.
I'm
We
not
don't,
38.
we don't say shut up.
thought you were
I didn't.
41.
I said hush.
Yeah.
No,
I
you said shut up.
apologize. I took
if
it back.
Lakeland watches this. we
Lakeland,
can't-
you're in trouble.
Oh, my gosh.
Dad, we don't say shut up.
Shh. Oh,
You're
dear.
right.
I
Lakeland,
don't
we don't say
usually. I think it's rude. I don't think that's a nice thing to say.
Okay.
Anyway, so when I
Get
started
on
doing
with it.
CrossFit, I think like when you're naturally competitive, like imagine that I would cry a lot, scream a lot when I couldn't get movements quickly, or like when I struggled with muscle ups for a long time, and I did them like a lot and cried, got angry and frustrated, whatever.
You cry?
No, I know that's so weird. I know you guys don't see that side of me
Can't
now.
even believe it.
But anyway, so I think that's what comes with maturity and things like that. Like,
For sure.
was there ever a time when you started CrossFit or
For
during
sure.
football and things when you were
For sure.
unruly and like, were you angry when you started learning how to snatch or do gymnastics, or did you get frustrated?
I specifically remember a day in the barn when I was still competing as an individual. It was before regionals, and we were working on when we had to do the hang snatch. And since I early arm pull, thank you all you internet coaches, I was trying to pull from blocks, and since the way I snatch, I can't pull from above my knee because I can't get it to my hip because of my early arm pull, and I'm missing snatches left and right. And I do remember specifically taking a wiffle ball bat to the wall of the barn and yelling profanities loud enough that probably 6 neighbors down could hear, because that was back when we lived in a neighborhood. And then walking back to it, taking it to my hip and PRing my snatch. Instead of starting from below my knee, I started from the high hang and was good. So yes, I remember lots of emotional times.
So
I
it
can
comes
remember-
with maturity, right?
I can remember being in my 30s in a church league, softball league,
Oh yeah.
and missing, like playing shortstop. And taking my glove. I remember one time taking my glove, throwing it on the ground, and jumping up and down on it in front of all these people. And I'm like I'm in my middle 20s at that point. So
Sounds
yeah,
completely
guilty.
normal behavior to me.
Guilty. So I'm not on you for being young.
No,
but
Well,
no,
say
I'm just-
arriving at what you just explained is so young is awesome. And even though we all talk about, using our values and staying in check and things, like there were times that we all
Absolutely.
Oh,
were.
there's still
It's a process.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still times. I'm a parent.
Yeah.
And my kids on a daily basis try me. My daughter mainly.
There's no arriving.
No.
This
Yeah.
is something that
Something
you do
you're
every day.
constantly
Management.
what you say, you're constantly aiming at.
Right. And you had the opportunity, what I think is fantastic, on so far the biggest stage athletically in your career at regionals, and you were in control, and
That's
and you
huge.
executed, and you didn't even come close to letting anybody down. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was exciting.
I mean, I just knew that. I mean, we prepared super well for regionals. I knew that if we executed well, we had a shot, and I knew that. I mean, we compared our times to other regions that had gone before us, and our times were good, and we knew that we had a shot and stuff. I knew that if I just kept it under control and just did what we did in practice, we were going to be fine and stuff. So I just had to remind, when we were getting no rep on the thrusters on the worm, there was a little bit of panic in me, a little bit, but I knew.
Said not to panic.
Yeah.
Jim said not to
It
panic.
probably didn't look like I was panicking, but like
The words of
I
Darren.
was
We're
like,
fine.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
And so
figured
but
it
we
out.
adjusted.
Oh,
and
there was some
we were
panic on
fine.
our team as well.
Yeah.
I won't say who. They know who
They know who they
who
are.
just pulled up as well.
My favorite moment was, and I told these guys in the last podcast, at the very end when they were waiting for the scores to be tallied, you were
Not with the team.
not with the team.
You're by yourself
Well, you were over
with
almost
your red
in,
shorts.
in 417's group.
Oh, was I?
But it wasn't you. Your hands were on your hips, and you had the most satisfied look on your face, and you were just taking it in, and you
Yeah.
weren't really aware of what was going on. It wasn't a bad thing. You were just like, you could just tell you were super satisfied. And then it was funny because when you lifted your head up and you realized where you're at, a couple of the guys, you gave a couple of hugs to the 417 guys, like,
Oh, hey,
okay,
Jared.
I
Hey,
need
Tyler.
to do something here, and then you hurried back over to where you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, I wasn't even. I was probably beside myself at that point because I knew we had qualified and I knew that what we did was good enough, and I was just relieved. Honestly,
Yeah,
it was just a
it
big
looked like
relief.
total peace on your face.
Yeah.
It was one of those surreal moments.
I was
where-
probably talking to God at that point. Honestly,
right on.
I mean,
It's a good person to be talking
Having
to.
some
I probably
converse. That's
was.
awesome. Wow. So are you ready for some fun questions?
what's up?
Oh, what's up? You guys are going to love this. Speaking of fun,
39.
what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word fun?
Dancing.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Rich. What's the
Of course,
first
it's
thing?
dancing.
I
Ted.
love
Ted's
to
an excellent
I love to
dancer.
dance.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. First thing that
Makes
comes
me
to
think
mind.
of Wedding Crashers, where he's like kicking him under the table. I knew I shouldn't have danced like that.
Yeah. He already doesn't like me.
I'm thinking about skydiving. I haven't done that yet, and that's coming soon here. So
That's
fun.
the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word
Right
fun.
now, when you said fun, that's the first thing I thought. I like, man, just
Fun.
I like to do that.
Jumping
That
out of
is-
a plane.
That's not. Ooh.
Well, this time of year, since it's hot, I guess the first thing that came to mind is like wakeboarding or surfing, like
Yeah.
wake surfing, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. This time of year.
What
Yeah.
about you?
Sunshine, exercise, being outside.
Gardens.
Yeah, fun. I'm like, sun, outside, moving.
Weeds?
Perfect.
Squirrel.
Weeds in the garden? Is
I'm
that
gonna
what's
go
fun to
weed.
you?
How many strawberries have you eaten from the garden?
4.
Yeah, were they
They
fabulous?
were delicious. Fabulous? Yeah, they were
Did you say that?
fabulous. Yes, you
Fabulous?
did. What was
Hey,
that?
did you order one of those garden weasels?
No, I'm going
I
to go
was-
to Lowe's today.
I was
Oh,
gonna
they probably
ask.
have them there.
We're hoeing the garden.
You're hoeing all the time, so
The garden is getting out of control, full of
garden
vegetables.
is well out of control.
I'm telling you.
We're getting out there today in the
There will
sunshine,
be
and
no
we are
meals
having
made. I'm
fun.
winning.
The garden is fun today.
I don't know, man. There's some like peppers that are ready to
They're
go. There's
huge,
some lettuce
Jim.
that's like I sprayed yesterday. Sprayed that
Oh,
organic insecticide.
you did?
It's probably not organic,
I'm so
but
proud of you. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so shrill. We ate a piece of
Those
kale.
weeds are gonna choke
and
it
a
out.
piece of
kale was
romaine.
disgusting.
You liked it. You
it
didn't
was
like the
super
romaine.
bitter. Well, okay, one of them
The
was
kale
terrible.
was
One
great.
Was there stuff
one
on it?
tasted
Or?
like
I'll
dirt,
give you
but
some later. It's great. It
It
doesn't
It had
taste
a
like.
little wang to it. It was
Yeah,
like,
that's what you said yesterday.
Yeah.
It's got a little wang to it.
That's what my mom always said. I don't know why. Yeah, it's got a little like bite to it. That's what it means.
Did your
Little
mom
wang?
say wang to it?
Yeah,
Wang.
she had the thing
That was
little-
one of the original computers back in the day.
A wang?
A wang. DOS computer. That's what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Little zing,
Someone
a little
loves that.
zang, a
Yeah,
little
zang.
spice, a
Had a
little
little
Okay.
bite to it.
little bite. Yeah.
We're going to the book.
Yeah, let's ask a question.
What's something valuable that you accidentally dropped, broke, or lost?
My phone?
Something valuable. What was the last really valuable? There's
My
nothing.
phone?
Yeah, well, you're reckless.
I am
That's probably
reckless.
common. Like,
I am
you know,
reckless.
One that comes to mind, I lost my backpack this semester, and it had a book that I rented.
oh no, what does
Ted,
that mean?
I feel like you've lost and broken a lot of things.
There was
Knowing
one time
your
I broke.
personality.
There was one time I broke my dad's sunglasses. That was
Oh,
I
if
was
we go
just-
back to breaking things for our dad,
Oh, wow.
or
Oh,
losing something?
gosh.
I can't even say what I lost.
I was just playing with a frame, and I was like, "These are really bendy," and it snapped. And he just said, "Did you break those?" I was like, and he, oh man, he was mad.
When I was 15 or 16, I wasn't even 16. I wasn't old enough to drive or ride a motorcycle, but I took my dad's motorcycle out of stole the keys, out of the garage, started riding it around town, and somehow it quit. So I convinced my brothers, who were a year and a half younger than me, to drive his van. He had
pick it
a
up.
work van out, and we took the handlebars off, stuffed the motorcycle back in the van, drove the van home, parked
Wow.
it, put the motorcycle in the garage. Dad went to ride the motorcycle later. Was like, "What happened to the motorcycle?"
I don't know.
Crickets. Nobody knew.
Did you ever find out?
Nope.
Yeah, there's too many things to list that I broke of my father's.
Yeah, we
My
go back
dad used
to that.
I would ask Dad. I remember somebody was like, how is it raising boys versus girls? He's like, I'd have 10 sons over another daughter. He said, he was like, Rich was easy, blah, blah, blah. He said, but he was hard on shit. That was his. I broke so many things. I remember like pulling a four-wheeler in and like the handlebar would be down here. And I'd be like, Dad, and every combination of the F word. I was just like, wow, I didn't know you could combine those two words.
That's impressive.
That's when I knew I was really in trouble. Was
didn't
when
know
the
you
F,
could
because he
put
didn't. I
those-
mean, he cussed, but not like, the normal
Yeah.
easy ones. But when he started saying the F word, you're like, okay.
Not like artwork.
Yep. I'm like, oh man, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna ease out of here and go into the house.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna ease out of here.
I can't think of anything recently that I
Have a bad
I
one.
ruined the carpets in the kitchen yesterday because I was making chicken
Yesterday?
yesterday.
Oh,
I was
no.
gonna grill some chicken. You know how it has all the chicken juice
Yeah.
in the chicken, and I split it, and then somehow the bag, and it got all over the carpets, and
Yeah.
Not good.
so we got to throw the carpets away now.
Oh no.
The
Like,
carpets.
You know, like
Or the
there's the,
carpet?
little
Oh, they're like little like space carpets.
yeah,
not
you one
like,
in front of your
rugs.
sink,
Okay,
the one in
rugs.
front of the
Yeah. So you're not, like,
rugs.
ripping out
There,
the
that's
floor.
what I
Oh,
was
okay.
saying. So I
Okay.
did that yesterday. That's what I ruined.
I broke a window downstairs
Oh no, how?
trying to move the assault. When we knew we were doing assault runner for regionals, I brought that other one that was in the basement. out, and I picked it up and turned it and went right through the window.
Oh no! I thought you were gonna say hockey.
And then I got scolded by my wife like I was a child. Why did you do that? I'm like, I don't know, because I felt like it. Like, yeah.
Just wanted to spend $400.
Yeah, I just felt like throwing away $400 out a window. Why did you do that?
Oh.
I don't know. My own mother didn't scold me as much as you did.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Oh, I
Yeah, what did you
lost-
break? Lose.
No, I lost, and I don't even think to this day my parents know. So they don't know how to use technology. I'm not worried.
Your mom did
worried.
say that.
What?
Your mom did say
Oh no, my
that.
mom has a flip phone.
Her mom was like, I want to get a picture for Facebook. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, said something. I said, you going to load that up? And she said, I don't know how to load it.
She just goes, I got people.
I got people.
Anyway.
And she does.
Yeah. By golly. My mom gave me a stone from her engagement ring,
Okay.
and I put it in an earring. Guess what I lost it doing?
Working out?
CrossFit competition in like a convention center. And I had a third hole pierced in my ear just so I could like put it in there and wear it.
Right.
I get home and I'm like,
Oops.
son of a biscuit.
Oops.
And it wasn't even like there was no way I could backpedal. It was the floor of a convention center.
Yeah, you're not finding it.
Never finding that again.
It's gone.
Yeah.
She gone.
That's gone.
I always tell them I have it in a safe place. It's in my heart.
Oh.
'Cause I have
Yeah,
no
but you don't say
idea.
the last part. You just, it's in a safe place. That's what you say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
You're not going to say in your heart because then they're going to go, what is that? My dad's smarter than that. What does that mean?
Right.
Jeez. Okay. Are you a penny pincher or a big spender?
You
You gotta have
He
money first, Ted.
You gotta have
I was about to
electricity
say,
on in your house.
that's not a good
sorry.
question for me. I live off $300 a month, so I'm dead serious.
He's a college student.
He's fine.
He
That's
is
more
fine.
than I had.
Yeah.
I get
How do you
300
eat?
His parents are taking care of
You
him.
go to the store. and
He
get
gets free food. What are you talking about?
Okay, if you didn't have Trifecta, how would you eat?
He eats here once a week.
Has he been out in the garden? Is that like our recent rabbit?
He goes home to his parents' house and has meals.
Fair.
He's
Probably about
fine.
once a week,
Look at him. He's well fed.
He doesn't look hungry.
He's doing
I don't know
fine.
why I slapped my chest.
It's in your heart, Ted.
I don't feel like I'm like, I don't know. I'm not either one of those things.
Me either. I'm probably right in the middle.
It's
Yeah.
it's
I
not-
mean, I would rather save money. I feel like we save money, but I mean, if I want something and I can afford it, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. I do what I need to do.
Yeah. I'm by no means a penny pincher, but I don't buy things like for like I buy things that I need, but I don't have a lot of things that like I'm that interested in needing. Like I like to buy exercise equipment or like toys to play outside with, but
Right.
other than that, it's like I don't need like a lot of anything. So it's like
Do
I
you
don't.
Do you have anything in
Oh,
your
organic foods. I
Do you have a hobby?
Do I have a hobby?
Just kidding.
I have so many
It's
hobbies.
a joke.
Oh, me too.
That was the joke.
Oh, I
Do you
I
ha-
get it now.
Do you have anything in your life that you like to spend money on? They don't necessarily need to.
Organic food is a need. So
I had something in my eye.
Doing
that's not funny.
Oh.
No, absolutely not.
Eyelashes? Is that what it's? Let's just put it
why?
out there.
This is
I
your
didn't say
fault.
that. I just had something in my eye.
I just put it out there.
He sends
You're a
the
public
most
figure.
horrible gifts whenever I say I have an
Because
appointment.
she's like, what
never
time's
say what
everybody
it is.
training tomorrow? Because we always train at 9:30 or 10. 9 times out of 10. Well, I have an appointment at 8:30. I'll be. What's your appointment, Ellie? Nothing. I just eyelashes and.
And it's always
Okay,
the same thing.
Always the same.
Well,
this-
your hair or your eyelashes.
But here's a testament to that process. Shout out to Kendra
Yeah,
for that.
Kendra's listening because she listens to all these.
Shout out to Kendra. They freaking glue with industrial. You guys should think this is cool because you're all about like industrial, like man things. They have glue that is so dang powerful, and she takes it lash by lash and glues it to your lashes. Do you know how she should be a?
She's a
stinking heart-
magician.
She should be a heart surgeon because her hand never
Kendra
even.
does Ellie's lashes, my wife's lashes.
Oh, okay.
Could you
cuts my
imagine
hair.
taking a sharp
Okay.
object that close
She's
to
good.
people's eyes?
I've never really looked very.
Well, they're kind of
closely at your
kind
lashes.
of like a stray cat right now. We're towards. I probably have an
You're towards the end of
appointment
the cycle.
You know what time we're working out tomorrow?
soon. I don't want to stop looking. Whatever.
I spend money on shoes.
Shoes.
I have more shoes than
You
I
have
need.
a fancy
I like
wardrobe,
hats.
I think. Hats.
Yeah, you do like hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like good Tigers. Like when I
Yep.
just bought the new like Memorial Day Tigers hat
Yep.
How many hats do you own?
A lot, and I don't
Like
wear
rough
half of
number.
them.
You have
50,
lots of hats,
50.
man.
Do
You have like
you?
12 hats
50,
in your
60?
truck.
Can we
Yeah.
go in your closet and see?
This is actually from Rich.
Is it?
This-
Is that a yes? I
Yeah,
want to
that's
see how many
when
hats
I
he
think
has.
he replaced
Okay.
that goofy cowboy hat you showed up with that hat.
Honestly, I didn't think that hat was goofy.
That was the goofiest hat I've ever seen.
And there was no
It was-
reason for it.
I
if
like
you're
that
going
you're
to the
being you,
lake,
Ted.
Right.
wear that hat.
It was
You
just to
c-
keep the sun out.
I come out. We get out of swimming, and Ted's sitting in the locker room with this ratty women's cowboy hat,
How
not
do you know it
cowboys
was
hat.
women's?
Yeah.
Because it was, and
Yeah.
I was like, Ted, what do you do? It's sunny out. I was like, get another hat. I'll give you a hat. I gave him multiple hats. You know what he does? So I throw him like 4 hats. I had a couple real tree hats. It's whatever.
Yeah, nice hat.
He picks one, throws the rest back on the ground, and just leaves them there.
They
I
weren't
thought you were gonna
acceptable.
put it back in your truck.
Just a little Ted being Ted.
I was like,
Yeah,
what's your problem, Ted?
I didn't mean
Somebody
to
gives you a
disrespect.
gift and you just throw it in the trash? Like, nah, I don't want this petty stuff here. I don't want it.
I
This
didn't
is
say
for
that.
peasants.
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 These are peasant hats.
And then you lost that hat.
I did?
Yeah, Dre's been wearing it.
Which one?
It was the Cameron Haynes Keep Hammering Branded Bills hat.
Oh,
that was a
that's
nice
cool.
hat.
All black with
That's
just
a
the
really nice hat.
leather
Gosh.
logo there.
Dang, Ted.
I
Ted
know. I should be
Right.
ashamed of myself.
Great.
lost he forgot that I gave him a pair of goggles because the dude didn't have any goggles. Gave him a pair of goggles. And one day he walks right out of the locker room, leaving him sitting right there. I was like, Ted, give you little
Goggles.
words of wisdom here. When somebody gives you a gift, don't just throw them away.
And do you remember what the second thing was?
What was the second thing?
Don't like diddle around like in the sauna, like
Oh,
get in
yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
and close
So when
it.
you're in the sauna, Ted like opens the door, looks around, makes sure nobody's in there, comes in. Nah, that's not how you get in a sauna. You pull the door, get in as fast as you can.
It probably dropped like 50 degrees when I
50
did
as
that.
soon as Ted opens air conditioning in the sauna. And you wear clothes in the sauna, always.
I do?
No, I'm saying that's a rule.
Oh,
Wear some shorts,
Yeah.
compression shorts,
Yeah.
whatever.
It's not a Russian,
never
this isn't
naked
a
in the
Russian
sauna.
hat.
Not you. I'm saying there's dudes like,
okay.
That
especially at Tennessee Tech. Like if
Right.
you're at like a resort or
Oh,
something, you can go
gosh.
into whatever naked.
You're in
but,
Germany, maybe, but
Yeah, but not no.
Yeah, not college campus.
No.
Yeah.
Ted, when you have nothing pressing, where does your mind drift?
So what does that mean, pressing? Like when something's like,
Important. If it's not anything important, if you're not studying, if you're just bored, where's your mind drift?
I would love to know.
man, I can't wait to play Zelda in the next couple hours.
Zelda?
Zelda.
I'm assuming that's a video game.
I
have no idea.
It's like something with a wand. What were you telling me at the
Oh,
airport?
so I'm playing the Wind Waker. It's a game. It's on the GameCube, and the Wind Waker basically it controls the direction of where the wind goes. Obviously.
Who
And
Waker?
The Wind Waker.
Wind Waker.
It's a great game.
I thought he said wind wanker. I was like, see, no, this is PG.
The Wind Waker. Oh dear.
Maybe that's going to be his new.
Ted, the
You
wanker.
guys have an answer for that?
Or maybe watch some Dragon
We've
Ball
been trying to
later.
work
Where
on
my
a-
mind goes, I don't
I
have
don't
enough
know.
time when I don't have anything pressing right in the current season of my life.
I don't have enough hard drive space to let my mind go anywhere.
That was something they were talking about though on that podcast I sent you. Remember?
Yeah.
That we are always entertained with something. We don't have like kids nowadays aren't bored ever.
Mhm.
You know, they think they're bored, but they're
Yeah.
doing something. You're not bored.
No.
I remember being bored as a child. That's what
Yeah.
the lady was talking about. I remember just
Nothing to
going
do.
outside and sitting and like looking around because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We don't do that anymore. You don't have that downtime.
That's good for your brain. Well, that's
It's
why
really
people
good for your
advocate
brain.
meditation, because no one ever spends time away from their electronics.
Devices.
Everything.
They said
Everything.
iPhone's supposed to be coming out on the new platform with like a technological health settings
yeah.
where you can like
Wow.
limit the
Isn't that
amount
crazy?
of time.
We have to
I
have
think
our phones limited for
But
us.
I mean, I think it's great.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I think that's
If
awesome.
you don't have the, psychological awareness to do it yourself, I think it's good to have that. Maybe get into a routine with that, because that's something we've talked about with,
Yeah.
with your stuff is the freedom
Yeah.
being away from this stuff.
You really
It's key.
actually need
It's
to give
absolutely
your
key.
brain like the chemical relax of the dopamine hit from seeing it light up from the text message or a like or whatever. Like you actually need to let your brain relax from getting your dopamine from that, or that
Right.
is not healthy at all. That like wires you to be so dependent
Rich and
on
I were
that.
having a conversation one day. This is what got me started thinking about freedom, and it's like a core value in our life for sure. Something that we were thinking a ton about, and so then I took the word and I started to work all the way back to what does it really really mean, and I came to the conclusion that I wasn't even sure I was honestly free.
Yeah.
Like because freedom
so much
starts
things
in
have
your
our
mind,
attention, yeah.
and either our minds are being led or we're in control of our mind,
Right.
and we're able to influence or be influenced. And so, man, like if we're following this phone around,
Yeah.
and that's the first thing we're thinking of, then we are not honestly really free.
Nope.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where that conversation started for us when we were working on that definition.
Yep.
That's a big freaking deal right now. I mean, that's what the whole bow shooting thing has become for me now.
Meditation.
It's become that time just to take 10 minutes and have no influence.
Yeah. Have you ever been like in a room or a group of people, like your favorite people or friends or whatever?
And everybody's on their phone.
Oh, that infuriates me. That makes me literally, I will put my phone away and look at everybody
Stare at
because
everybody?
it makes me so frustrated. But this is like the guilt of like, you're in a group of people that your favorite people, and suddenly you start walking towards your phone. What do you go? You're with the people you like being around.
Yeah,
what are you looking
doing?
for? And then like, so if I'm like, absolutely not. Like,
Yeah.
because it is chemical that you will like go seek
Yeah.
that. And it's like, what am I seeking? Like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous.
So one thing that me and my friends do, so after church on Sundays, we go get lunch, and literally we put our phones in the middle of the table, and we just socialize with each other. And, hey, how's your week been? You know, what are you looking forward to this week and stuff?
Yeah.
So I really enjoy, like, no phones, just like getting
That's a big thing they're even
deal.
talking about, like the business world right now is like, they are saying like people are losing touch with, you go to a meeting and where you're actually getting to know these people that you don't see often well is the 5 to 10 minutes before the meeting starts. Well, nowadays
Everybody's on
everyone
their
sits
phone.
there and gets on their phone. So they're saying like if you're actually trying to excel and network and communicate, even going to a meeting and turning your phone over is rude. This means that you actually don't care about engaging with the people around you. They say this needs to be gone if you're actually
like, not inside.
I mean, obviously, assuming you're not using it for business purposes or whatever. But I mean, I think that's super true. You know, how many times do you talk like this and like we're all guilty? I'm like, oh, light, what? It's up,
Yeah.
down. You know,
You mean right now?
I'm like, why'd you just look down? Yeah, exactly. It's
I
the
would
same
really
thing.
love to, and I think about it daily about just getting rid of my phone. If it wasn't for the fact that there's business and then people that I care
Business
about,
and communication with the people you care about. Other than that, I wish I could get rid of mine.
I would totally get rid
It's
of it.
got to be an app somewhere about like you can get calls or make calls to the like a list or something. But
I
Or
bought
like
that
a certain amount of
Apple
time.
Watch,
yeah,
and then I just haven't learned it enough to. But that was what I thought I was
but
going
I
to do.
feel like that gives you more connectivity.
yeah.
I was going to throw the phone away, and then I just wanted it set up to where it would talk and text. I didn't want anything else on it.
So you're
That's
just
what my
like
goal
freedom
was.
from like the apps, basically.
I don't
of,
want the
like,
apps. I don't
other-
want any of that. If there's a text, I could see it, or if somebody called me, I could put my AirPods in, and
That's interesting.
that's what I was
Wanting.
going for. But
That's a good idea. This is an interesting question. What's your preferred method of getting bad news?
just straight. Just straight up.
Lay it on me.
Don't.
You mean you don't like the "we need to talk"?
Oh, why do people
I
even do
hate
that?
that one. I
That
hate
just like is
Or,
like instant
hey, you need to sit
anxiety
down.
goes from 0 to 12.
Yeah, I hate. Don't tell me. Just tell me.
Oh, wait, could you repeat the question? I don't
Sure.
know if I answered.
What's your preferred way of getting bad news? Like if someone has
You-
to tell
you
you
answered
something
it.
bad, yeah.
You answered it.
Oh,
you
did
got
I?
it right.
Like you
Yeah.
said,
But
just
I'm just
straight.
saying.
I hate that
I just
too,
hate
like,
when people are like,
we need
"Hey,
to
we need
talk."
to talk later."
I hate
You're
that
like,
too.
No, we're
No.
gonna talk right now.
Or like we have
Yeah.
stuff to talk about. Like I hate
Oh.
because that gets my anxiety. I was
Oh,
like, what? What did
skyrockets.
That's
You're
like,
like,
oh,
what
so
I
you
do?
want me
what
to
is
have a bad
this person about
day?
to tell me? Like, I mean, I prefer like casual conversation and then kind of into the
Nope.
nitty gritty.
Nope.
You don't like that?
Nope. Hey, let's get this out. Let's do
Let's
it.
talk.
All right.
I hate I hate when people go around, like, "Hey, Jim's got something on his face.
Right.
He's old."
Pass it on.
Don't pass it on, but
on.
don't pass it on.
And
to
then
Jim.
it comes down
But
to me, and it's
don't.
like Jim's wearing lace, but his heart's made of gold, like the telephone game.
Yeah, I was about to say
Oh,
the
that's
telephone
the
game.
best.
Yep.
How the message gets different.
No, like I think, like I used to have a hard time with like worrying too much about what people would think.
Yeah.
And so then you try to,
Now I don't care.
well, I mean, like, so we need to be mindful.
Mhm.
And we try to be authentic. I think that's
Yeah.
the filter I built, and then just say what you mean and
Say what you mean.
take what you get.
Yep.
And because that would give me anxiety about how I should say this to you. Man,
Right.
just talk.
Just say
Just
it
talk.
straight. I'd rather have it. Stay it straight.
And if you don't have enough miles with somebody, then it's probably going to be a problem.
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know? And you're going to have to work through it.
Or if the people can't handle it, you probably don't need to be hanging around that person anyway.
Right. That's exactly
Sure.
right. It's not necessarily easy.
No.
It's going to be uncomfortable.
Yep.
And you got to be okay with that.
Yeah, I agree.
What are you thinking?
Last
Your
question
legs
after
bound.
that.
Oh yeah.
Finish this one though.
What?
Finish
Nah.
the question.
Okay, when the
No,
tooth...
no.
No, me?
Yeah, what do you like?
Same thing, but I'm probably like, you could like give me a hug too. Like
I'm
I'm
not
more
doing
of like,
Yeah.
you can like lighten the blow for me a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Next question.
or
I'm just kidding.
whatever, fine. When the tooth fairy came, what did you usually get?
Tooth fairy.
Ted?
$1.
$1?
Just like how most
$1.50.
kids got.
Man.
I mean, we didn't. I'm old.
Yeah, I was about to say, did we take into account inflation on his or
Wooden nickel.
a wood nickel?
A gumdrop.
A pence? No,
A pence.
Is that what is that?
A shilling. A shilling.
A pound?
Tooth fairy didn't come to my house.
No?
Flew right
No.
over.
Man.
Was
I
that
told
the-
my kids when
was
they
that
were little,
the
I-
lost years?
Yeah.
Were they? Your parents were like, no, there's no
Those
such
were
thing
the
as tooth
Jesus
fairy?
years.
Did you have like Santa? Did Santa come during those years or no?
No, we
They
didn't do
didn't
Santa.
do
I mean,
that
that was all
stuff?
bad.
It was
That
all
was
bad.
Aw.
Pagan.
Yeah.
Christmas trees are pagan.
We had a Christmas tree.
Wow, that's a pagan, like, that actually has like roots, I think, in pagan worship.
Does it?
A Christmas
Really?
tree,
No
I
kidding.
think.
My mom thought that deviled eggs were devil
Satan
eggs.
eggs.
Ooh, deviled eggs
seriously
are so
thought that.
good.
And I think
Man.
of the
I'm like,
church
they're
lady.
not. She's going to call them angel eggs.
Angel
She
eggs.
called them angel eggs.
Could
It's
it
not
be-
devil eggs.
Could it be Satan?
Oh,
You remember the
jeez.
church lady?
Yes.
SNL?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember
Dana
that.
Carvey?
Yeah. That's good stuff. Well, I want to make sure that we.
Do we know who Ted is? Everybody knows who Ted is now.
By now.
Ted, you got anything else you want people to know about you? You got 30 seconds. You
Okay.
don't not
Yeah.
like you're not gonna ramble on like.
Yeah, I mean, student at Tennessee Tech. A few fun facts about me. I love anime, love Yu-Gi-Oh, I love Pokemon, and I just love being with my friends and my girlfriend. So
Yahoo.
There you go.
That was a quick
that's just
30.
quick. You said 30 seconds. That's just a little bit more about me.
Ted, you're awesome.
Good job,
Thanks,
Ted.
guys.
We're proud.
Killed it at regionals, man. We're really
Yeah.
proud of you.
Thank you.
You're a super good person, fine young man, and
Good dude.
yeah, he
Good
qualifies.
dude. He's a good dude.
Yep.
All right. Be on the lookout for the new CrossFit Mayhem website. We're doing some updates.
It looks good.
Doing some updates
So
on that
good.
finally.
Yep.
FroningandFriends.com. Check the store.
Can we?
New
Can I
stuff
put
coming
one
out.
more thing out there
What you
before we close this
What you
thing?
got?
We need a nickname for Ted. Let's.
You know what I think?
No, he can't give himself
I
his
know.
own
So what I
nickname.
want is the people out there.
Yeah, but you can't use Stark. Because
Yes,
you
you
can.
can.
No, you can't
No,
because
we're
he
not
already
using
asked.
Stark.
He
Okay.
asked for his own nickname.
Stark's out.
You can't give yourself your own nickname.
I wanted Stark.
That's a rule.
Why are you
But
the
can't
police?
have Stark.
I'm the police. You cannot give. Somebody back me up on this. You can't
That's
give
a-
yourself your own nickname.
that's a
You can't
sports
I
say.
don't
thing.
know the whole story.
So we sat down one day. We're gonna extend this now. Sorry.
It has family ties.
It doesn't matter. We're gonna extend this. We're
This is-
sitting
I
there.
have your back,
We're
Ted.
sitting
Don't you
there.
worry. Thank
Credits are
you.
rolling.
And Ted goes, "Hey, you think you guys could call me Stark?"
No, you can't pick
You
your
can't
own
pick
nickname.
your
It was what they called his grandpa.
It doesn't matter. You
does
cannot give
matter.
your. I will not.
If that makes him go out and
No.
crush the CrossFit
No.
games,
No.
you could call
No.
him Dust Bucket.
No.
I don't care.
No.
You're gonna
The
wear.
people, you
You're not
heard
gonna
the
wear those
story.
crappy
Red shorts.
shoes.
Can we call him Stark?
No,
We
he can't
just-
give himself his own
It's not-
nickname.
it's
escalated
We told
quickly.
And it was already somebody else's
It's not.
nickname.
It's been vetoed.
It doesn't matter what
By
people say, but
you
somebody
two.
back me up here saying you can't give yourself your own nickname.
Yeah, you can't.
Okay, thank you.
But we are interested in suggestions about nicknames. So
That is
post
not
those.
Stark.
But it's not
And
Stark.
not Tony Stark or anything like
Stark
Anything like that.
17.
Should I give him my real name? Maybe they could give him some ideas.
No.
that.
Okay.
No, Ted.
No.
Okay.
Shh, you're
Your
done.
30 seconds
Time
is
is
up.
done. Leave us some feedback on iTunes and wherever else you're listening to this. I got nothing. Peace.